How's it going, everybody? This is Darth Butt Kicker here, coming to you with another Queen's Blade Limit Break video. In this one, we're going to be covering how to obtain artifact gear, namely covering the game functions, the forge, and the kind of mini game or daily tasks that go with that, the exploration quest called the Sanctum, because both of them work in tandem to give you the artifact gear. If you don't know, artifact gear is the most powerful, or currently the most powerful form of gear you can get in the game that I'm aware of. I'm going to go into my bag and I'm just going to kind of show you what it looks like compared to some of the other gear right here. These are all artifact gears. We're not going to go into too much detail on this. I want to cover this in a separate video because, as you can see, unlike regular gear, there's various aspects of it that need to be explained on how to change and upgrade it. So just know that it is the best type of gear that you can obtain. And there are several ways to get it, and one is the Forge and Sanctum. The other is, let's just say, direct purchases that may become available via special events or direct purchases. I've been playing the game for a couple of months, and I can tell you I've only seen a very few direct buys when it comes to artifact gear specifically. So when they do become available, it's worth taking a look at the price point, seeing if it fits your budget and seeing if it's something that you want. But don't, as always, don't spend money unless you understand the gear itself. So I'm looking forward to getting that video put together and get it out to you so that you know exactly what artifact gear really is and how powerful it is. But anyways, getting back to the game, I have my account brought up. And on the home screen here, you've probably noticed the Forge button. The Forge down here becomes available at a certain adventure rank, just like everything in the game. I don't believe it has any, I don't remember it having anything to do with the world level, because there is a world level. I'm level 124, and I don't recall what level the Forge comes out, but I will take a look at a secondary account later on and maybe update the comments. But the Forge and the Sanctum is the primary way that most users are going to obtain this gear. So now that you've seen it, let's click on the Forge and take a look at this very simple screen here. And you're not going to be able to obtain artifact gear directly. You're going to have to put in some work, and it's not going to come quickly either. I'm going to click on this. As you see here, you can forge one time and forge 5 times. Basically, you're going to be able to earn in-game currency called, bring it up here, mystery crystals. Okay, and you're going to do that through the Sanctum, and we're going to see that here in a minute. But as you obtain these crystals, you're going to be able to forge them. You're going to forge these crystals into this little bar, basically feeding it XP. 100 crystals one time, 500 crystals 5 times. And you're going to fill up this XP bar, and then once you fill this up with 300 points, how do you get 300 points? Well, every time you roll 100 crystals, that's 1 point. When you roll 500 or 5 times, that's 5 points added to this XP bar. So you start to see right away that it's not going to be something you're going to get right away unless you're coughing up quite a bit of money. And we're going to cover that here in just a second, but just know that the Forge is a place to obtain gear, artifact gear, and other rewards. What type of rewards? Well, every time you forge 1 time or 5 times, it's going to give you a set of rewards based on how many times you do it. I'm going to click on this little icon here. You can obtain jewels, red and orange gear of various rarities, and it does tell you the odds. I'm going to go ahead and click on this 1 time so that you, or click on this 1 time, but I'm going to do the 5 roll just so that you can see the animation and what I'm talking about. So you see I did it 5, click the 5, and it gave me various rewards. It gave me 5 rewards because I did the 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You notice it gave me gear, but you also notice it gave me these shards. These shards can give, once you collect 100 of them, and these shards go directly to your bag, you can combine them into a random artifact. Okay, it's going to give you a random leg, weapon, chest, foot artifact, and there are sub artifact categories, so you can get one of several. Artifact gear can be broken down into DPS, heal, and tank, although they can all be pretty much used anywhere. But I got 5 rewards. You don't really want to see a lot of the gear rewards here. You want these shards. So every time you click on these, you want to get these shards because you want to get to 100 shards as fast as possible in order to get a legendary, a legendary piece of gear. Now that's one way to obtain gear. As you see, I spent 500 crystals to forge 5 times, and it added 5 points to my experience bar. Once you reach 300 experience points, you're going to be able to choose a part. You're going to be able to essentially choose and get a free legendary item of the specific type. Okay, weapon, chest, hands, or feet. When you collect the shards, it's a random. You could get any one of them. And you can get any number of the subcategories. But here, once you reach 300 points, you get to select your own. So there's essentially 2 ways here within this system to obtain artifact gear. Both are not quick necessarily, and both are not cheap, depending upon how you do it. How do you go about getting these crystals, though, to spend in the forge? That's the next question. Well, that's where the sub mini game that goes with the forge, the Sanctum, comes into play. But first, we're going to cover the monetization part of it. And up in this right-hand screen, you're going to see the Holy Pack. I'm just going to click on it and see. I'll let you take a look at these prices. Every day, you can get 20. That's not a lot. That should go up the more powerful you get, the higher your adventure rank, but it doesn't. You get 20 every day. You can buy packs that contain these crystals. They are very expensive when you compare it to the amount of monetization. So 3,000 crystals for $100. Yes, you do get gems, but the value is not there for the gems for this 100. And none of these values here, in my calculations, are worth any of it. And the reason being is because 3,000 of these crystals for $100 is only going to give you a few forges here, and it's not going to move your experience points that far. But it is what it is. There's a faster way and a better value elsewhere, and that's found in the Sanctum. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at the Sanctum, but I just want to reiterate here that you get an in-game currency called the Mystery Crystals, either by buying them or playing the minigame. And every time you forge, they cost 100 or 500 crystals every time you forge. And every time you forge, it adds the number of points to your experience bar. Once you get 300, you get to select a artifact piece or section. And every time you artifact, you have a chance, it's not guaranteed every time, you have a chance to obtain these shards. And for every 100 shards, you can get a random artifact. Okay, that's your primary way of getting it. Now let's go over to the Sanctum, which is the minigame that goes with the Forge. And the way you get to that is down here in the Quest section and under the Exploration tab. So it's an exploration quest. And you have 3 different exploration items, and one is called the Sanctum. So we're going to go in there. And as you can see, I kind of prepared. This is what the menu and minigame type looks like. It's a series of battles that you end up going through for various rewards. And I've already gone through it because I didn't want to bore you through going through all 10 stages. Now, I'm going to draw your attention to the top here first. And it says difficulty level, refresh, clear stages, and difficulty level. You can complete the Sanctum every 2 days, not every day. That is an important thing to keep in mind because unlike a lot of the quests in this game you can do daily for in-game currency and rewards, this one is not one. And it further draws out the process by which you go about getting artifact gear. Okay? So you're going to want to make sure you log in every 2 days and do this particular mini game. You go back to the screen, the home screen here. You're going to want to log in every day to the Forge, though, and claim your free mystery crystals. Alright, so let's go back to the exploration here. Go back into the Sanctum, and how do you complete the Sanctum? The Sanctum is not complicated, but it's a series of battles that you have to do for various rewards. And there's two kinds of rewards, one off to the left here, and one off to the right. The rewards are based on how your performance in the battles are. You see the stars above each fight? I'm going to go down to this very first one here and show you what the battle screen actually looks like. Draw your attention to a few things here. One is those stars. Each battle has a set of conditions to add a star to the win condition. This should not be new for anybody who's familiar with star systems when it comes to battles. You got to win the battle to get 1 star. You have to use a certain number of attribute warriors in your team in order to get 2. And then you can have no fewer than 2 deaths to get a 3 star. Deploying 3 units of the same attribute, which is this attribute levels above the heads. The second thing to call out, and probably the most important to understand because people just don't understand this when they build their teams, is that this is a 2-team fight. It's not a 1-team fight. You can't just come in here with 1 team and do it. It's not going to work. You need 2 teams that are capable of going against the power level of the team that you're fighting. That's an important thing to call out, and I'm going to make a separate video on teams and why the importance of not just focusing on your main team, but building a second and third team going into the mid game. But that's a video for another time. So I'm going to go back out to the reason it says that I don't have 2 of 3 is because I do change it out. When you come in here to do your fight, you can change out your warriors on the fly. An important call out is that you do not need 3 physical attributes per team. As you can see, I have no physical attributes here. I've balanced my teams out. You just need 3 total throughout both teams. So what I do when I do my teams is I take one of my weakest tunes, I see what I need, a physical, I come down to the filter here, and I go through and I add what I need, and boom, I got my conditions. And then I just complete the battles. I'll show you the battle here in just a second. But if you complete that fight on a 3-star, you move on to the next one. What I want to say is that you do not need to complete 3 stars to move on to the next fight. You do have to, however, beat both teams in order to move on to the next fight and up and up. Each of these teams are going to have a specific attribute that you need in a 2nd star to win. And there are 10 battles in total, meaning that each attribute, here you can see you have to have physical units within your team. The second one is also physical. So you're going to have 2 fights every time you run this gauntlet that are going to need 3 of a specific attribute tune going forward. Now what I want to do is I just want to show you the fight. So I left a fight here to go through as soon as my character teleports. There we go. I don't have 3 dual attribute characters because I used them as infusion fodder. That's for another video. But both teams are set up, and I want you to see how this plays out when you click battle, because it's going to go through like it normally would. All fights play out on its own with a set of game mechanics. But you can see right here the battle taking place on both, and you can switch between the 2 with this little button here. But this health indicator indicates whether or not you're winning or losing. I have 3 times speed, so mine probably goes faster than a lot of you beginners because this is an unlock that you get. But you can see how this fight is going out in real time, but you can see the second fight playing out. And you're going to see we're about to win that fight. as soon as the health remains 0. And we got a win. It's over. Here you're just waiting for these tunes to complete their fight. And that'll be done soon. I just not optimized for what I was doing, and I should have been more prepared. So we're going to let this play out. And there you go. You have a win-win situation. I got 2 stars, again because I did not have that 3 dual units. But I want you to see the reward screen, because every time you win a fight, you're going to get specific rewards. Gold, which is an in-game currency, that plays a big role. You're going to get the mystery crystals we talked about. I got 100 per fight. You're also going to get another form of currency, and that are these enhancing crystals. These are used to add XP to your artifact gear to level them up. That'll be covered in a separate video. But I want you to be aware that you get rewards every time you clear. You get these crystals. So the Sanctum is going to give you these crystals to use in the Forge, as well as gold and other rewards. There's 3 other reward systems here. One is when you reach the top, you get the final loot. And it's going to give you various other aspects. Some more crystals. It's going to give you some blessed level up dust. And it's going to give you these refining artifact materials as well that's used to refine your artifacts. And basically that is how you complete this. You need a team of 2. You need to, in order to 3-star, which is what you want to 3-star as much as possible. You got to use the attribute that it specifically states, and you have to win the fights. Second reward system is off to the left. 10 stages, total 3 stars. Off to the left you see there's a total of 30 stars to get the top rewards here. I don't really care about this right now. I'm going to go ahead and claim my rewards. But there's also a third reward system, and this is where I covered in my video where I explained where there is a high value on what to purchase, what to spend real money on, what not to buy, and where I find extreme value. And this is one of those. And this is one that you won't see except for being on this screen. And that's over here in the rewards section. Every time you complete a fight, it adds points to a reward system. So we're going to click on it. And as you can see, there is a completely separate pass, kind of like a game pass that you can buy for additional rewards. It's going to give you free rewards off to the side. As you can see, my points went up because I won extra battles. Here it says collect, so I'm going to hit collect, and it's going to give me these little piddly rewards off to the side. It doesn't really amount to much, but when you consider the rewards you get from winning a fight and collecting everything, it's not that bad. But it's this game pass that I like, this luxury pass. If you look here, you get 25 times returns. Every 30 days, as long as you're running your Sanctum quest every day, you accumulate points until you eventually reach 9,000. This is going to be another way to quicken the way that you get, or hasten the way that you get artifact materials, rank up materials, gems, and artifact gear. And this is where the best value you're going to find comes in at. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to show you the price. I'm going to show you what you get. $20 is going to get you all of these immediate rewards and grand total rewards. Look at how many mystery crystals to use in the forging that you can get. 5,700 plus 1,600. All these gems, 8 nights. It's a little over 10,000. And if you've reached 9,000 points, you guessed it, you get a random artifact gear. So you start to see that there are ways to get artifact gear, but it's very limited to the specific functions of this Sanctum and the Forge. But I want to go back out to the main screen, and I want to go back into the Forge. I just want you to see, again, I'm going to go back to the monetization here and show you that there are 800, 1,200 for $20, 1,200 for $20. I want you to remember that. And then 3,000 for $100. They really need to reevaluate the monetization on here. This is for extreme whales who have no patience. Okay. going to go back into the quest, Explorer, Sanctum. I'm going to show you this luxury pass one more time. $20 for like 7,000 crystals, 10,000 gems, and an actual artifact piece every 30 days for $20. Again, it's predicated on doing this every 2 days, getting your points, accumulating enough points. See, the pass has been set for roughly 5 days, which is technically 2 days worth of forging, and I'm already at 1,800 points. So it's not hard to get enough points if you are doing your quests, with i.e. all 10 fights, collecting your rewards. You have to collect the rewards to get your points, but you have to win. Like I mentioned in my extreme what to buy video, always real life comes first. When it comes to spending money, take care of real life first and game second. My recommendation is the same here as it will always be for these 30-day passes. Do not buy this pass, even though it is an extreme value and good deal, until you are sure you're going to get all 30 rewards. You do not get the actual artifact piece until you've reached 9,000 points. So to make this all worth it in the long run, wait till you get down to about 28, 29, and 30 and make sure that you're going to reach it before the 30-day reset. Because if you get down here to 24 because you missed a few days, you probably don't want to spend the luxury pass if you know that you're not going to make it within 30 days, because it's going to reset your points back to 0. And you don't want to spend $20 just to not really get the penultimate, which is that artifact gear and all these rewards. So I hope that this video has been helpful. I know it's been a little long-winded, but again, I wanted to cover the Forge Pass, the Forge function, the Sanctum function under the Exploration quest. Keep in mind that these functions do not open until you are a certain level, so continue to level your tune and look for this to become available, and you're going to want to do it as soon as possible. Again, you're going to get these crystals. You're going to forge the crystals for rewards. You're not looking for the gear here, although that is a good benefit. What you are looking for is these shards. You want as many as possible because 100 of them will give you a random artifact. And you want to forge as many times as possible to add points to get 300 to get another artifact. Hope this video has been helpful. Please look forward to my future videos, one in which we cover artifact gear, how to level them up and make them what I like to call uber powerful. Until the next video, please leave your comments in the descriptions. If you have questions, please leave questions in the comment section as well. I will get back to you. I promise. It may take me some time, depending upon how busy and how many comments I actually get, which I don't anticipate. And as usual, if you want to be helpful and you actually like what I'm doing, even though I'm not a seasoned YouTuber, please like and subscribe to the channel as I make more of these videos. I think that you will become more interested in the game as you learn these systems and how to kind of use them to your advantage. Thanks, and take care.